Hi, I'm Rick Duran here with...
Are we recording now?
Yes, we're recording. I got
Okay,
it.
it actually worked this. Hi, I'm It's Come Alive. We've been having recording issues
Yes, we
again.
have. We always do. It's a staple of this, isn't it?
He says we, but in reality, it's him. I don't do the recording. I just sit over here and be entertaining.
Okay, take one. You're the one with the scratchy Wi-Fi.
Hey now, my Wi-Fi is usually pretty okay, and this is actually not my fault. I can't just magically bolster the Wi-Fi.
You can't?
No? What kind of... No, I have different magical powers. I can manipulate matter and energy, not Wi-Fi.
Ah, okay. Feel like
God,
Wi-Fi is
James, I thought you understood my godlike powers.
I'm sorry, Jazz.
We said our names again, didn't we?
Yeah, but who cares? Fuck it. Hi, I'm Rick Duran. My name is James.
Hi, I'm Jazz. Although, to be honest, if you went to my Tumblr, it says my name, so who cares?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure my Twitter still says my name. Though
And I'm pretty sure it has your full name at that.
Yeah, so... If you don't know our names, that means you're not plugged in.
And that means you're probably not planning to murder us anyway.
Thank you for that.
Oh, be grateful. I just got you a new viewer. I suggested the podcast to a friend of mine.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you.
I say friend. Really, I'm trying to sleep with him.
There?
It's Brian. I've told you about Brian.
Oh, yeah, we should probably ask people's names before we just mention them on the podcast.
Because Brian is the rarest
actually-
fucking name. There's no one on this earth named Brian. I have never in my entire life met another Brian. It is the most remarkable situation.
I know, right?
Oh God, that did not sound pleasant.
No, it wasn't. It kind of hurt my throat to do.
I just bought all these fucking repels. Where did they go? Oh, I'm playing Pokemon X again. Oh, there they are. Motherfucking repels. Fucking hate repels.
So, I'm not sure. Alright, so that joke we used in the first take is gone to the ether now. Too bad.
What joke? There was no joke. We discussed nothing. Nothing is gonna happen. I have warned you of the consequences.
I know, but the whole I'm the host joke.
Oh! No, that wasn't even a planned joke. I just said that because I like pretending that I'm annoying. I say pretending.
Yeah, you say pretending, but...
Yes, well, even if I'm annoying, you're more annoying, so it evens out.
Yeah, fuck. See, this is why I didn't join debate team.
I was on mock trial, which was like the legal form of debate team, which was significantly easier.
Which is what I wanted to join, but I didn't know how to, so I never could.
I mean, our high school didn't have a mock trial team until our senior year.
I know.
And to be honest, you wouldn't have been able to get on it, because the people that did get on it were just fantastic. Oh, and then there was me, but most of them were very fantastic.
I feel like you need to have an intervention for your low self-esteem.
Yeah, it's funny because I flip-flop between having cripplingly low self-esteem and being just breathtakingly arrogant.
Yeah, you're kind of like that. I feel like you're bipolar, but not in, like, the way that most people are.
No, because that's not how that works. What I have doesn't classify as a mental illness. If anything, it would be a personality disorder, but that's not really accurate either, because it's not actively disruptive to my life often enough for it to qualify as a disorder. Instead, it's just the result of a relatively abusive childhood and a relative immunity to logic.
Alright. Welcome to the podcast, guys. I swear that this first 4 minutes doesn't reflect how funny we're going to be for the next 20.
Oh, come on! People love hearing about my problems.
Yes, people get a real kick out of abusive childhoods.
Really, they do. You should see all the fanfiction.
You have fan fiction?
About me? Not that I'm aware of, at least.
I doubt we have fan fiction. I think like maybe 20 people listen to this, and maybe 4 of them look forward to it.
Bless those 4 people. They're so unentertained.
I know. I think we're just good background noise, to be honest. Like, people leave us on...
I wouldn't even think that, because my voice is strange, and your voice is faintly irritating at times, and there's a delay between everything we say. It's not a particularly good podcast. I don't know why you people listen to it.
Well, my voice is faintly irritating at times because I don't really use my relaxed voice.
Why not?
Because my relaxed voice sounds weird to me.
I mean, all of your voices sound weird. You have a weird way of phrasing things that has nothing to do with the actual quality of your voice.
I also make pretty...
You've had that since we were children, actually.
And I'm also pretty bitchin' at making analogies.
Oh no, I got you beat there.
Well, let's not get into an analogy off. That would not end well.
The difference between you and I is that if you have more time to put into an analogy, like if you have a while to develop it, it ends up better than mine, but I'm better at on-the-spot analogies. And on-the-spot parodies of popular Disney songs.
Yes, you are, but we can't talk about that because you didn't want us to sing it or anything, so meh.
It's true. And if you start singing it, I will instantaneously destroy you.
Which sucks, because it's a really good parody.
It is, and no one is ever allowed to see it.
We could do a separate video of it.
No.
Aww.
I will sue you for copyright. Don't think I won't.
You have not put in copyright claims to that song yet.
You don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know what I've done.
It was like 5 minutes ago. I think it takes longer for that legal process to go through.
Maybe I have friends in the copyright committee.
Committee?
Yes. In my universe, it's a committee.
If you didn't know, this is a trans-dimensional podcast. She's actually in her own little universe.
No. I just am the universe, and I can declare things to be true regardless of whether or not they are. Although technically, I guess it could be separate universes, because for every universe that exists, there is an infinite number of other universes that also exist, because every time a choice or action is made, another universe is instantly created where the other choice or action was made. So if I flip a coin and it lands on heads, another universe is created where it landed on tails, and another universe is created where it was eaten by a pterodactyl before it ever hit the ground, and so on and so forth.
I'm pretty sure there's a Futurama episode devoted to that coin flip.
Probably.
Actually, I'm 100% sure, because remember there was a multiverse episode, and the entire difference between Universe A and Universe Beta? I'm not sure what they called the other universe, because I remember it was like Universe A and Universe 1. And the difference between the two universes was that all the coin flips came out the opposite way in one universe and the other.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode.
That was a good that was season 1. That was a good episode. Or was it season 2? I think it might have been season 2.
I like Futurama, but not enough to actually think about it.
It's actually one of my favorite series of all time, so...
I could see that. It seems to suit your particular, humor and stuff, but it's just not really my particular style.
Yeah, I can tell. You know, I'm really tempted to adjust your audio, because your audio is kind of loud in Audacity, but at the same time, I know I'm going to lose a decibel. Well, that's actually the stupidest thing I ever said. I'm going to lose some audio quality, and your audio is going to come out quiet when I do the final product, so... It's better...
Okay. I don't know what you're saying, or is there something I have to do, or can I continue just sitting over here?
You can just continue... You're not the talent.
Oh, I am the talent. Don't even lie. I am the only reason this podcast exists. The rest of your stuff, you're the talent, but here it's me.
Well, excuse me, I'm going to go pull out the list of other potential podcasters with me.
You don't have other friends. No, I'm kidding. You do have other friends. I am just the most vocally talented of them.
See, you might think I have a blank piece of paper in front of me, but in reality, it's actually the Geico ad that you get in the inside of a Gamefly envelope.
You don't need Geico.
I know, but there are like so many. Like, it's in the inside, like, all of them. Like, every envelope for the last 2 years have had, like, this exact same Geico ad, and it's insane.
Yeah. I hate this fucking cave that I'm in right now.
Which
Fuck
cave
this
is
cave.
it?
Fuck this entire cave. It's that bullshit reflecty cave.
Ah.
Like, normally I like caves with really interesting aesthetics, but I'm gonna fucking kill this thing. Ooh, you're that Healy lady. I like you, though. You're cool. You and me, we're pals. I've always wondered about these random trainers you find that have the ability to instantaneously heal your Pokemon. Like, how? Why?
Because they're usually nurses or doctors. Well, they were in previous games.
No, not in this one. In this one of your childhood buddies in certain parts of the game has the ability to instantly heal all your Pokemon.
I mean, one of your buddies? Because I'm pretty sure you're in childhood in those games. Oh, wait, they're not even your buddies. If I remember correctly, you just moved in. These are just people you met.
Well, yeah, but they become your buddies because you just moved to an entire new country and you were sort of shoved into them by circumstance. I would count them as your buddies.
They're more of your forced friends / rivals.
To be fair, they are kind of cool.
Eh.
They are. They represent that there was this old idea in the previous Pokemon games that the only real way to do things was, to be the best trainer, and people who played the game in other ways, like they focused on contests or whatever, would get a lot of shit. And so they added in this whole 5-character dynamic thing to make clear that however you play the game is the right way to play the game, regardless of what anyone else says. And I think that's great, because fuck the way most people play the games.
Oh god, I hate people who fucking just breed their Pokemon to get the best stats. Hey, do you want a Pokemon battle? Give me like a week. Why? Well, I gotta get everything like inbreeded to where the EVs are perfect. Or IVs. IVs are perfect. Because that's what IV training is. You get the best of the best by breeding them. And until you get the best. You go out, you catch the strongest, you breed it until you get a strongest.
See, my issue with breeding is that it's very difficult for me to think of the Pokemon universe in a way other than an actual universe. Like, I spend a very large amount of my time analyzing the practical things that would happen in the universe that they don't talk about in the games. Like, what is the rate of sexual assault in this world? Because, like, you'd think that if you had very powerful Pokemon, you could commit any crime you wanted. But in reality, would Pokemon be willing to be used for such purposes? Like, thievery and murder is one thing, but sexual assault's a big deal.
Well, okay, did you ever see the first Pokemon movie?
Vaguely.
Do you remember the Pikachu's vacation before it?
No.
Alright, well this is probably the best argument against anything in the Pokemon universe. People are like, they shouldn't fight and whatnot, or like they're not supposed to be used like this. It's like the Suicida game. Is that the announcer says, like, okay, Ash's Pokemon and like Misty's and whatever, get in this contest with other Pokemon in the little resort. And the announcer says that Pokemon are actually very competitive creatures, and they basically take any competition seriously, and they don't just fight. Like in the wild, they'll like do races and whatnot. So basically, the entire thing is showing off like what they do besides fighting. One of them was a swimming contest, another one was a foot race, one of them was a strength thing. It was actually really cool.
But that's like the obvious stuff. Like, I think about stuff like, how the fuck are these kids carrying around all these fucking clothes? Well, and, like, why don't these kids get robbed more often?
Well, because I don't think Pokemon would be interested in robbing someone, because there's no competition in it, unless, like, the other person has, like, a Pokemon they're gonna send out.
Yeah, no, that's my point. I'm not saying that, like, a random fucking Pikachu's gonna run up to you and steal $20. I'm talking about the people who have Pokemon but aren't honorable enough to only use them in
That's what I was talking about.
ways.
I was saying the Pokemon probably wouldn't, like... I think the Pokemon feel a twinge of, upon, like, helping, a sexual predator.
Okay, so what about the people who don't have any Pokemon, but they themselves are physically strong? I mean, I know that if you have Pokemon, you could technically use them to defend yourselves, though there's a personal theory I have that it is completely illegal to use your Pokemon to actually cause harm to another human being, because that would just prompt another war, and that war almost destroyed the universe.
Well, to be honest, the police do have giant fire dogs. Because I believe every time you ever see Officer Penny, not Jenny, God, I haven't watched the anime in so long, I'm screwing up the names. Officer Jenny, she always has an Arcanine, or a Growlithe, giant fire dogs that can rip your face off.
Well, that's because those Pokemon are fast and very intelligent and can understand human speech.
They could also literally rip you limb from limb.
Yeah, but they don't. Have you ever actually seen a Pokemon attack someone in a way other than, like, rap or whatever?
No, but that'd be a great episode if Ash just got mauled by a pack of Beedoofs.
No, that's the point I'm making, is I'm pretty sure there's a deeply understood taboo against Pokemon causing any kind of harm to a person, because think about it, in X and Y it talks about there was a great war in the Kalos region in which Pokemon were used as soldiers, and that war nearly destroyed the whole planet because of the sheer power of these creatures. Can you imagine, like, look at, like, even ignoring legendaries, look at a fucking Tropius. Like, a Tropius is a fucking dinosaur that can fucking fly, and, like, it can grow its own food around its neck, but it uses Razor Leaf, and it can fucking destroy a skyscraper.
You know, I should just call this the Pokemon Podcast from now on, because apparently that's all we talk about.
Hey, we have entertaining conversations about Pokemon.
True.
Anyone who doesn't like it can suck my dick.
God, I think if I wanted to be a supervillain in the Pokemon world, I'd introduce rabies.
Rude! Pokemon are sentient beings! You don't want to give them rabies.
Well, I'd say if I wanted to be a supervillain.
But, like, there are easier ways to be a supervillain. Like, damn! Like, way easier ways. Like,
Actually,
you
we have
want
to
to
stop
fuck
this
with
right
the
now.
entire Pokemon world?
Stop.
Introduce the idea of, oh fuck, what was it? I thought it was a minute ago.
Good. I've wiped your mind. That's my only power. I have to stop because I just realized that in Pokemon XD, in Coliseum, you know, the GameCube ones, games that like actual RPGs, the entire storyline is that they're locking Pokemon's hearts and making them like extremely vicious, and like they will attack humans in order to like make him stronger, and the entire point is like get rid of that. So I can't talk about rabies because that's literally the entire game. It's Pokemon rabies, but like control rabies, and it's weird.
No, that's more like Pokemon brainwashing. And it's treated as such a weird, horrible thing that has never really happened before, which again implies the taboo.
Yeah. It's kind of talked about as a horrible, horrible thing, so...
Well, I mean, it is a horrible, horrible thing.
Exactly. I just realized I don't have any water like usual. My throat's getting dry.
Okay, Myro, you use that. Tiro, you use that. Sorry, I'm talking to my Pokemon. Like, they can hear me mid-battle.
Isn't there a microphone in the 3DS?
There is, but talking to them doesn't have an effect in battle. It only has an effect in Pokemon Me.
Ah.
Pokemon Me is my favorite thing. Ooh, my little dinosaur is almost level 30 now. I'm so excited.
I really wish I had a 3DS.
Bless.
Oh god, that's more irritating when you say it.
Bless!
Stop it.
There's no reason for you to find the word bless so annoying.
It's because you're using it in a weird way.
No, I'm not.
It's just so...
Shh. Listen to the universe. It's telling you that I don't give a fuck. Okay, that sounded like you were a bag full of mayonnaise that someone ran over with a bicycle.
I can make a lot of sound effects. That was quite literally me, like, opening my mouth when there's pressure behind me because I'm angry, and just air escaping and making my uvula do weird things.
Oh my god. So, I'm in this Reflecty Cave bullshit, and, I ran into this honeymooning couple. You talk to the man, and he says, my Pokemon on one side and my wife on the other. I tell you, life doesn't get much better than this. And you talk to the wife, and she says, is it selfish of me not to be satisfied with what I have? And I'm like, well, your marriage is about to fail.
Oh, I love the fact that I have my Pokemon with me and my wife. It's great. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Talk to one. I'm really not satisfied with all this. I'm really not.
I mean, to be fair, her husband does sort of seem like a tool.
Is there alcohol in the Pokemon world?
Presumably.
Okay, because I'd expect that woman to, like, just have a glass of wine every afternoon. No, morning.
Afternoon, morning, all the time.
Snacks. Death because she only drinks...
It's like a Pokepuff, but it's made of vodka.
Oh, man, I'd eat that. Just, Oh man, Pokepuff Jello shots.
Ew, Jello shots.
Oh, that's the only thing I can think of that would retain its shape at all.
I mean, that depends on the drink. Like, I have a whole post on my Tumblr about various ways to make various alcoholic drinks. Some of them look like they'd be relatively gelatinous without actually being Jello.
Yeah, I was thinking like pouring them into like a form.
What type is Absol? It's dark type, right?
Yeah, it's dark.
Shit.
Why?
Let's hope I kill it in one hit then, because the Pokemon I'm using right now is part Psychic type.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's gonna die.
Yeah.
Please don't use a Psychic. Oh, you used a Dark... I'm gonna die. Oh, it was Pursuit. Boo.
Oh god, Pursuit.
It's not a very powerful move unless it faints the Pokemon.
Actually, it's extremely powerful, because if you're putting a Pokemon back in its Pokeball, Pursuit will hit that Pokemon anyways, and it'll do like double damage.
Yeah, who withdraws their Pokemon for any reason other than the fact that they're dead?
Nuzlocke runners who are like, okay, this Pokemon's about to die, I'm gonna withdraw it real quick, and Pursuit is dead.
Yeah, but I don't play Nuzlocke. I play like a relatively sensible person.
Well, I play Nuzlocke because it's fun. I get like a really emotionally attached, and then I like yell out their name when they die, and I like have to put the game down for a few days.
I think it's weird that you require a sense of mortality in your Pokemon in order to get attached to them.
Well, the thing is that when your Pokemon just keep fainting, there's a certain point where you just stop caring. And this
Not for me.
And at the same time, it also means that HM slave you send out to like take a hit while you revive your better Pokemon isn't there, because if that guy can't take a hit, he's dead, and so is all your other Pokemon. Which means you don't need an HM slave, you need someone who can take a hit.
So you need a tank.
Exactly, you need tanks, you need sweepers, you have to know stab. You know what stab is, right?
Basically.
Okay, so you know.
I know it in reference to other games, but I don't know what it would mean here.
It's a same type attack bonus. So you have to weigh like this move is like 100 damage, but at the same time this move is 90 damage with stab, which would mean it would do 40 or 50 more damage because it's plus half of whatever the damage is.
The amount of analysis that goes into that just sort of wouldn't be fun for me. Like, I get attached to my Pokemon regardless of their mortality status, especially with the addition of Pokemon to me. Like, because I get to play with my Pokemon, like, they feel like they're real creatures to me, and having them faint is terrible, because can you imagine? You're doing something for someone whose job it is to protect you, and not only do they not protect you well enough that you end up getting knocked the fuck out, but you also have failed them. That just, it's sad.
Well, I used to think of it like that, but again, I've been through like 4 generations of Pokemon. Like I rode the wave on the 90s of Pokemon, of like Pokemania. It was amazing. It was. I still have. And like
I started the games right after. I have played all the generations basically.
You say it basically.
I haven't played all the side games.
Ah, okay.
But I've played all the basic generations.
Well, the thing is that I started getting late into the competitive play because I wanted to see how good my Pokemon were, and then they weren't, like, any good at all, and it felt horrible because I felt like I didn't train them well.
Maybe the reason why fainting feels like such a big deal to me is because my Pokemon don't faint. Like, they don't lose. My Pokemon that's not a thing that happens to me.
Well, that's because in Pokemon X there are so many things you can do to get, like, experience boosts.
No, you misunderstand. They don't faint in any generation. My Pokemon are always a minimum of 10 to 15 levels above where they need to be.
Yeah, which makes it really easy to win the game. I like a challenge.
Yeah, the challenge is keeping them there.
Oh, by the way, did I tell you about the first time I ever faced the Elite Four in a Silver version? I didn't know the difference. I forgot what the difference was between full heal and full restores. So I bought 99 full heals using up all my money and like 3 or 4 hyper potions. And then I went in and then I realized, full heal isn't a full restore, and it only does hat debuffs. So I had like maybe 16 hyper potions, well less than that, it was like 10, that I had to like very carefully judge when to use them in like one revive.
I think it took me 2 or 3 tries my very first time to beat the Elite Four because wasn't there a water trainer or something that was super effective against fire,
Um,
water fighting or something, or rock, I mean.
why would fighting ever be effective against fire?
Shh, I was thinking about a different Elite Four.
Hang on.
The only Elite Four member I remember from, Silver and all that was Lance, and that's because he had a cape.
I'm gonna go ahead and... Did you notice that every Dragon-type trainer has a, cape? Like, all the, big ones, like... Everyone, but I think Generation, like, 4 or 5, like, Black and White, he didn't have a cape. Which was really weird to me.
Well, I mean, Dragon type is a very showy, offense-heavy type. It makes sense that its users would be dramatic and capey.
By the way, 2x weakness against anything is, ground, rock, and water. So, it could have been any one of those three, but I believe in Gen 2 there was either ground or rock trainer in there.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't have... As much as I have like a player's guide for Generation 1 and 2, or not 1 and 2, 1 and 3, I don't have one for 2, so... My friend does, and I can ask him for it next time, and I can figure it out, or I can just... No, I can't, because my crystal version was white due to the humidity shorting out the battery.
My crystal version never worked. It would never save my game, ever. Not from the moment I got it.
Did you buy it used?
Yeah.
See, people only get rid of Pokemon games when the internal battery has died, which means it can't save.
Or, when they get tired of the game. That's what I did when I traded my games back.
You monster.
I mean, the early generations just weren't very fun for me.
I love the early generations. They're a lot of fun to me. Like, all of them are.
You have to remember, the things I like in games are things like character creation and storyline.
True. I think...
None of those things exist in the early Pokemon games.
I think one of my favorite things in, like, the Pokemon games, actually, it has to be Gen 1, but not for the sake of, whatchamacallit. Not for the sake of, like, nostalgia, like, oh, it's the best generation. Because in all honesty, if you really, really look at Gen 1, it's one of the worst.
It really is the worst.
There are several evolutions that are, like, Magnemite, what does it evolve into? 3. Diglett, what does it evolve into? 3. It's like, it's kind of uncreative in that sense. And it's, they definitely hit their stride in 2. 3, as much as people make fun of 3 was actually a really good generation. 4...
Which one is 3?
Ruby and Sapphire.
Wait, there are people who think Hoenn wasn't the best region?
Yeah.
Fuck those people, they're objectively wrong.
Exactly.
3 was the best generation, I feel, because I like, Black and White, Diamond, Pearl, X and Y and all that, and X and Y is my favorite to play, but Hoenn was, the biggest jump in graphics and story quality, the best region with the most to do, the most, I say gimmicks, but in reality, the gimmicks were a major part of the gameplay, and they were actually really entertaining, and it had the most variability in the ways you could play the game, for the first time. Hoenn was the best generation, and anyone who says otherwise can step on a Lego.
Yeah, this is gonna be kind of a controversial episode because everyone's nostalgic for Gen 1, but at the same time, Gen 1 was good because it was the first one, and it started everything. Before that, it kind of sucked, not gonna lie. It didn't have a lot of, like, good things in it, just using the bag was kind of a hassle because everything was really out of order most of the time.
It was good because it was the first, but it wasn't... That's really the only thing it had going for it in comparison to the later games.
Yeah. So...
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I guess I like Gen 1, but as far as like replayability and actual fun goes,
Yeah.
no.
I literally tried replaying Gen 1 once. Grinding in that game is such a hassle because you have to like catch 30 Pokemon to get the experience share. And it only gives you one, so you have to train them one at a time, and XP wasn't very good in that game. Like, it had a very steep drop. Like, when you hit level 6, level 3s give you one. Like, it wasn't a good climb, and it wasn't... The last gym wasn't as strong as it should have been, and you can't rematch any people, which I feel is a great improvement in Gen 2, where you can rematch people if they call you up.
Mm-hmm.
And in Gen 1, you couldn't rematch anyone, so you'd have to, like, grind the grass, which could take hours just for one Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And you could grind on Victory Road, but at the same time, it was still a hassle.
Do you remember, was the special yellow edition, with the one where the Pikachu actually followed you around, was that in Gen 1?
Yes, it was. It is considered Gen 1.
I played that game very, very wrong. I did it wrong. Like, normally, I'm one of those people that says, oh, there is no wrong with... I played that game wrong.
What did you do?
Because the first gym was rock type, I was like, oh, well, I'll just catch a grass type and train that one up and then go back to training my Pikachu, and I stopped training the Pikachu, and I never used it again. I just kept whatever that first one was, and I think it was something ridiculous. Like, one of the stupid grass types. And I just put my Pikachu in a box and never brought it out again.
I can't think of any grass type you can catch before the first gym. In fact, that's one of the reasons the first gym's so hard, because there's not really a type you can catch that would help you. Besides,
I specifically remember there being at least one grass type that you could catch, and that was what I caught.
I think so too, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't think there's anything in the breeding forest you could catch that would help you. It's full of Caterpies, Metapods, Weedles, and Kakunas. And the occasional Butterfree.
I think it was a Butterfree that I caught, and I think that Butterfree was my main Pokemon for the whole remainder of the game.
Yeah, that's very wrong, because usually bug types fall off around the second or third gym.
Yeah.
Unless they're, like, really over-leveled, which, knowing you probably did.
I think that Butterfree was, like, level 25 by the time I got to the gym. Because it kind of had to be, because fucking Butterfrees are terrible.
Unless, well, I'm not sure if effect spores, like Sunspore, Poison Powder, and whatnot, affect rock types. But if you keep, like, some of those on them, it's a great Pokemon, because it's like, sleep. It sleeps. Okay.
Oh,
I'm a
no,
it.
I didn't have status moves.
You had no status moves?
Like, it had them initially, obviously, but I trained it away from them. I didn't want it to have status moves. I don't like status moves.
They're really awesome for catching and also for, like, really tough gym battles. They're good. They're so good.
Yeah, but they're not my playstyle. I'm all offense all the time.
See, I used to be that way, but then I realized I had trouble catching Pokemon and I had trouble with certain gyms. And then I started using status effect moves and it started being really awesome. And then I started having a lot of fun. And that's when I realized I need to start using status effect moves because it makes the game a bit more fun and a bit more, not strategic, but a bit more, I'm going to send you out to paralyze them and kind of give certain Pokemon more use.
And I totally understand why you would think that. They're just not my personal style.
Yeah, I've figured since you've said it 3 times.
Style.
I'm really tempted to crack out my Ruby version, but at the same time, the fucking screen on the Game Boy Advance isn't backlit.
You know how you always have that one, like, game, that one playthrough in your head that when you think of my Pokemon game, that's the one you think of?
Yeah.
Hoenn was mine. It was my Emerald version.
It had to be my Crystal version.
Really? Johto? Fuck Johto.
Oh god, I love Johto.
Johto was the worst!
Johto introduced, like, certain mechanics that were new, and they perfected them in, like, 3, like, trainer rematches. His little cell phone you had, they had Pokemon Radio, which is awesome, because certain songs would make certain Pokemon appear more often. Like, there was so much cool stuff to it.
In Crystal?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I told you, my Crystal version didn't work.
Oh yeah, if you play the Pokemon March while going through grass, it ups the appearance rate of certain Pokemon.
Okay.
It was actually, and also Gen 2 also introduced better, scaling with experience. Because when like you're fighting level 3 and you're like level 6, you still got like 20 something experience instead of like the 5 that you'd get from like Gen 1. Like Gen 2 was a huge stepping stone. Gen 3 was awesome. Gen 4, I've never played it. I've never played Diamond and Pearl.
You're not missing much.
Is it that forgettable?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it was good, and, yeah, it was alright. It was the first one that attempted to make the world it was in seem more modern.
Yeah.
And I liked that, but Black and White was better than Diamond and Pearl, and X and Y is better than Black and White, and Hoenn is better than everything.
Yeah. Unlike the Civilization games, I don't think Pokemon have a clear, upwards climb, because it seems like 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 1 and 2, 4 is better than none. Or it might be better than, 1. And 5 is better than the rest, and then 6 is better than those. With, Civilization, which I've been playing a marathon game of, as the Russians. Upon your recommendation, by the way, I took the Russians as my starters.
Which Civilization?
The Russians.
No, which Civilization game?
I'm playing 4.
No, you're not supposed to play as Russia in 4. You're supposed to play as Russia in 5. Because in 5, the Russian starting benefit is you get double iron, horses, and uranium for every instance of it you find.
Nice. In number 4, you start with mining and something else. Which means you can immediately start mining ores.
In 3, I always play as the Celtic people.
I'm playing 4, so...
I liked the Celtics. I was sad that they cut them out.
Yeah. I don't have the Brave New World expansion for 5, and also 5 doesn't run very well on my computer.
Poor thing.
So that's the reason I have 5 and 1 of the expansions. I don't have Brave New World because that expansion is still kind of expensive. It's still a $15 expansion, and
How long have we been recording? Is this still the podcast?
Yeah, this is still a podcast.
How long have we been recording?
37 minutes.
Okay, do you mind if we end it? Because my mom just got home and she says that we're apparently going to go out to lunch.
Alright, this has been the Random People Podcast. I am, as usual, your amazing host, Victor Ann, and this is my...
You're still not the host. I still don't approve of this declaration.
Look, if you want to be host, then next time when I say, hey, starting podcast in 3, 2, 1, I'm going to hit record, and then you introduce. Whoever introduces
Well, I can't
is the
do
host.
that, because that would involve me having to listen to you when you talk.
You do that anyways because you watch the podcast.
Yeah, but I watch to listen to my voice. Anyway, I'm Myths Come Alive, and I'm sorry this podcast has mostly been me insulting James.
Yeah. Alright.
Bye-bye!
Bye.